All right, hey everyone. My name's Phil Batterson, and today I want to talk to you about the problem with Fatmax. So I know this may be a little bit of a controversial topic because it's kind of the belle of the ball right now in the endurance world is talking about Fatmax and exercising at Fatmax. But one of the major issues with Fatmax is that we measure it after a metabolic test or during a metabolic test where we're sampling oxygen and CO2 that's inspired and expired from the mouth. And then we go off and we get our zones from our max heart rate and hopefully a little bit more in depth, like from our VO2 max and other things like that. But then we just, kind of just do our go about doing our zone 2 training without ever actually measuring it in real time again. And I think that's the major problem with talking about, I'm exercising at Fatmax, or zone 2 is where Fatmax is, or other things like that, because Fatmax and really just any sort of substrate oxidation changes on a daily basis depending on what you eat or what you don't eat before and after a test. So say, for example, you went in and you did a VO2 max test at a facility. They tell you to fast, 4 to 6 hours before your workout, and then you go in, you do your workout, and they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, your fat max occurred here at this exercise intensity, and you're burning a lot of fats right now. It's like, well, yeah, no duh. You're going to be burning a lot of fats because your endogenous carbohydrate stores are, maybe a little bit lower because you're fasted. You haven't ingested any carbohydrates. So you're relying on your liver glycogen and your skeletal muscle glycogen, during that test. Then, for example, say you're going out for a long workout or a long ride on the weekend, and you're like, oh, I need to really feel for this. So, the night before you eat, you do some carbohydrate loading, like eating some pasta or doing something like that. And then in the morning, you have carbohydrate-rich breakfast. Your substrate oxidation is going to be greatly different on that day when compared to the previous day. So, if you were to measure your expired oxygen and expired CO2, your RER would be greatly different. And what your RER is your respiratory exchange ratio, and that's how researchers and physiologists determine what source of substrate, either carbohydrate or fat, that you're burning. The major problem with exercising at quote unquote fat max is that you get your fat max during one sort of physiological condition, and then you do most of your workouts and most of your exercise at another physiological condition. I'm not saying that, you need to exercise harder or differently or anything like that. You still need to, or it's still beneficial to exercise at zone 2. But I just think it's a little bit inappropriate for us to say, oh, I'm exercising at fat max when we're not actually measuring it. That was something I was thinking about. I'm just about to go on a little morning run. I, for example, ate a bagel this morning. So I don't expect my fat oxidation to be very high, even though I'm going to be going, fairly easy, because your body, when there's insulin present or when there's carbohydrates present in the blood, is preferentially oxidizes glucose as a substrate. This isn't inherently bad. It's just easier for your body. It's a little less efficient to burn fat. Just keep that in mind when you're going out exercising. You're saying, "Oh, I'm going to go exercise at fat max." Another thing too is that even if you do eat, you're still going to have, especially if you're exercising prolonged periods of times, you're still going to have large amounts of fat oxidation that are actually occurring. So altogether, I would say that the estimation of fat max is probably useful in terms of, is it changing over time? Because fats are the only place that fats can be oxidized are within the mitochondria. However, I think it's a little bit of a misnomer to be like, oh, I'm going out and exercising at Fatmax today. Those are just a little bit of my thoughts on Fatmax. Some studies that have come out that I'll talk about in another video that have used devices to estimate in real time what your Fatmax is, or where kind of that optimal zone 2 zone actually is for training. So I'll kind of leave you with that little cliffhanger. If you're enjoying these videos, please let me know. If you want me to cover any topics, if something wasn't clear enough, leave a comment in the comment section. And as always, I'll check you guys in the next one.